This is Hank, who once worked as a jailer on death row, but now he worthily performs the role of a supervisor in the school parking lot, making sure that no one leaves before the lessons are over. The guy lives alone and is very surprised when he sees a charming girl named Josie at his house. She asks Hank for help because Bothell has just moved across the street and things have to be moved the next morning. The class is introduced to a new student. The teenagers have 3 weeks left to complete control tasks, for which they must be distributed around the frame. Marcus suggests that Josie join forces to work on this assignment alone. The threat just has a hotel room. After work, Hank visits his only pet, a turtle named Francine. Through the wall, played by the Masked Network, Hank notices Josie relaxing on a chaise lawn. Catching himself staring at the high school student, Hank swears and then goes home at nightfall. A man, hearing the sound of an approaching car, notices Marcus and Josie heading towards the girl's room. Get into Hank's pickup. Marcus is surprised that the girl lives next door to this and not a normal type. Watching the parking lot in the morning, Hank gets scared as hell when Josie suddenly shows up at his pickup truck while talking in the car. Hank finds out that his neighbors invited a girl to a picnic, but no one invited his neighbor because Hank only goes outside to check on his turtles. With the coming of Sunday, he goes on a picnic to the neighbors, who are glad that Hank finally got out of the house, even if he noticed Josie in the neighboring yard. He shows a makeshift racetrack for turtles, where they immediately arrange races after dark. Marcus and his friend Baker come to pick up the girl. Hank doesn't want to let the girl go for a walk, but Martha insists that Hank let Josie go for a walk with friends because she already spent the whole day with adults. Arriving at Josie Marcus's party, Hyder arranges a dispute over who can drink a can of beer faster. If one of the guys wins, that girl will have to kiss him, and if Josie wins, that girl wants the guys to touch her breasts. Upon hearing this, Marcus and Gator lose on purpose, but Josie sees through their plan without allowing them to. While watching TV shows, Hank hears a car approaching and looking out the window. He notices how Marcus and Gator brought Josie to the hotel before leaving. Marcus asks the girl to meet again, but without Baker. The girl agrees, understanding the hint. As soon as the guys leave the house, Hank comes out under the guise of a trip to the store. The man thanks Josie for a great evening, as well as for the turtle racetrack, and calling this the best day in recent times. The girl wonders when Han will show the turtles homes, to which the man immediately invites Josie come to visit, but the girl is very tired, so she goes to bed. In the morning, Hank there will be neighbors. Having discovered an offensive inscription on his pickup truck that someone made that night, hearing their laughter, Josie appears from the hotel. We ask the man what he will do today. Hank is going to visit the boat station where he is asking for Aunt Josie. Walking along the pier, the girl asks Hank where he hides the corpses of the people he killed. Hank does not understand anything well. Josie immediately explains that there are similar rumors about Hank at school, as everyone considers him very strange. DeWall explains the suspicious country by saying that he used to work in prison in Texas to the suicide bombers were delayed. Once, an innocent man was executed there, which is why Hank, feeling guilty, resigned even though he was only a security guard and did not take direct part in the execution since then. The image of the guy they executed constantly haunts Hank. Going home, Josie is asked to accompany her by the pool as the girls are bored to sunbathe. One looking out the window, Martha is unhappy that Hank, in her opinion, is flirting with a schoolgirl. So under the guise of bringing he goes to drink with them. As the woman interrupts their conversation, Hank goes home explaining to Josie that he has a lot to do. After dressing up in the evening and tidying himself up, Hank takes a bouquet of flowers and goes to the girl who invited him to visit. It turned out that Josie has Marcus in her room at that moment, which he finds out. The hand girl asks to reschedule the meeting for another time, and since she and Marcus have very important things right now, she hands over the flowers. Hank gets in his pickup truck and departs Capricorn, on the shore of which he notices his boat and is decommissioned by insults. Knowing perfectly well that Marcus wrote it, Hank returns back. Going to his friend's room, he wants to kick down the door, but hearing groans inside the room, he returns to the pickup truck. Taking a knife, Hank pierces the tire on Marcus' car. Take the kid in his car. Josie returns back and heads to Hank's house, although he is not in the mood to talk. That still shows the turtles' dwelling as promised. There is a knock on the door of her friends. She took the initiative and invited Marcus to Himka's house so that they could finally figure everything out among themselves. The guy apologizes to Hank for humiliating him, promising not to do that anymore. Hank, in turn, is going to repair both the NATO parade and the wheel on Marcus' car. While Josie pours drinks for the men in honor of reconciliation, Hank learns from Marcus that the hunting enthusiast is bragging about a new acquisition, a huge knife that he bought recently. Looking at Hank's weapon, he loses consciousness. Upon waking up, the man finds himself tied up. Josie is sitting in front of him, handing Hank a photo she said she took 17 years ago of Josie's family, her mother and her father. They were executed by mistake in the prison where Hank worked, although he himself did not take part in the execution. Just to remind you, Josie remembers that day in great detail, as well as Hank, who strapped the girl's father to the stretcher. The girl knows that Hank regrets that day. She admits that he is the only one who repented. Everyone whom she had already killed lived peacefully, and they didn't regret anything. Taking Marcus's huge knife, the girl deals with Hank, who fell asleep at the beau's place. Josie slips him a knife with which the police find him, and that's the logic of her innocent father. They executed her and she delivers another innocent man and sentences him to life in prison. A few days later, Josie enters a lonely bar and several policemen enter inside, one of whom the girl calls to her. The film ends.